And I'm here. Hi everyone. Today we're going to have a look at the past simple with was and were. To be. I am, you are, he is, she is, we are. But that's now. Let's talk about the past. Yesterday. Finished time. So let's look at the form for I am. Yesterday I was. I was in London last week. Great. You are. Yesterday you were. See that? Get the pronunciation there? You were. Were. You were very sleepy last night. You were very sleepy last night. He is. Yesterday he was. He was at home all night. That was last night. She is. She was. Again. She is. She was. Yesterday she was at work. Yesterday. It is. It was. It was very cold last week. Another Irish summer. Jeannie Mac, why? It's so cold. It was very cold last week. We are. We were. We were in a cafe. I don't know when, but in the past, we were in a cafe. They are. They were. They were at a match. Not now. In the past, they were at a match. So sometimes you don't need to use a past form or past phrase. Look at these. Last night. All night. Yesterday. Last week. These are all past time phrases you can use. Sometimes you don't need to say when. We were in a cafe. They were at a match. So, that's good. Next, I want to have a look at the verb born. I was born. I can't say I am born, because am is now. I was born. I was born in 1975. Oh. No! You were born in 1965. I was born. So was and born. And no, you were born in 1965. Oh yeah, that's right. We were born in London in 1984. Look at the prepositions there. Prepositions in 1975. I was born. You were born in 1965. Again, we were born in London. When? In 1985. Okay, great. That's past simple to be in the positive. Come back in a few minutes and we'll have a look at the negative. How to say you weren't born in 1975. See you in a moment. Welcome back, and past simple one to be with negative. I was. I wasn't. So how do you say something in the negative in the past? Well, yesterday I was in Nina. I wasn't in Dublin. Okay, look. So I wasn't. Was not. Wasn't. We contract it. I wasn't a driver 10 years ago. Look at this, ago. That's so funny. Well, we'll look at ago later, but ago talks about a time in the past. A finished time in the past, and ago is often used with the past simple. So, I wasn't a driver 10 years ago. Okay. You were not. You weren't. Look at that. Weren't. Look at the pronunciation there. Weren't. So say it fast. Weren't. Good. You weren't a waiter last year. No way. He was not. He wasn't. Say it quickly. Wasn't. He wasn't a policeman. He was a chef. Whoa. Oh, full stop there. She wasn't on the train. She was on the bus. She wasn't. Say it after me. She wasn't on the train. She wasn't on the train. She was on the bus. She was on. So in English, when we pronounce the words, we often pronounce them quite quickly together. She was on. She was on the bus. She wasn't on the train. We were not. We weren't. We weren't happy. We weren't happy with the meal. The meal is a dinner in a restaurant usually. We weren't happy. Didn't taste good. They weren't. They weren't at school. What? They were at the cinema. What? They weren't at school. They were at the cinema. Naughty children. Let's have a look at the pronunciation here. I wasn't. So say it after me. I wasn't a driver. I wasn't a driver. Good. You weren't a waiter. You weren't a waiter. You weren't a waiter. Good. He wasn't a policeman. He wasn't a policeman. Good. He was a chef. He was a chef. She wasn't on the train. She wasn't on the train. She was on the bus. She was on. See that? Good. We weren't happy. We weren't happy with the meal. We weren't happy with the meal. Good. They weren't at school. They weren't at school. Good. They were at the cinema. All right. Good. Well done. Now, one more part here, one short part. So hold on 1 second and I'll be back with another little bit to show how we can use the negative and the positive in a sentence in a slightly different way to talk about situations. Okay? Okay, welcome back, and we're going to look now at the past simple to be and talking about situations. How do you talk about different situations? Well, in English we use the word there. There are 4.5 million people in Ireland. 150 years ago there were 10 million people living in Ireland. There is, for now, there is a lot of bad weather at the moment. Last year there was beautiful sunshine. Okay, so there is, there was, there are, and there were. Let's put these into a sentence, shall we? Have a look. There weren't any cakes left. I was at a party and I came along to the cake table and there weren't any cakes. It's really annoying. This was last night. I went out last night and I saw 6 people in a car. There were 6 people in the car. Last Sunday I was in Dublin, and you know what? There weren't any shops open. All closed. This is pandemic. All closed. There weren't any shops open. Closed. Now, the weather isn't great at the moment, but yesterday there wasn't any rain. There wasn't any rain yesterday. I thought there was a lot of... No, there wasn't any. Dry it was. Last night there was a good movie on last night. There was a good movie on last night. Really enjoyed it. We had crisps and popcorn and watched TV. There was a good movie on. So we'll talk about situations. Yeah. Now have a look at just a little thing here now. There weren't cakes. There weren't any cakes. Note that. For negatives, we often use any. It's this little thing, but you will see this again. There were 6 people. We don't use any. Oh, look. There weren't, again, here's the any. Shops open. Zilch, nil, null. And again, there wasn't any rain. It's a negative. So often when you talk about how many in the negative, there weren't any, there wasn't any rain, we use any. Okay, but that's for another lesson later on, but it's good to keep an ear out and an eye out for that. Okay, look, thanks very much. That's the past simple, positive, negative, and talking about situations. And in the next lesson, we'll have a look at questions. Past simple was and were with questions. Okay, thanks very much and speak English.